What is the feeling like, the energy now with practice and stuff, knowing there's a game in a couple days?
You could tell the difference. You really could. Guys came into the building this morning energized, ready to roll. We had a service period where one of our guys took full advantage of our ability to rap in that period, and you could hear the thud, you could just hear the physicality, and the energy level just rose from that point going forward on both sides of the ball. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun to see our guys, and we've had a great fall camp. Don't get me wrong, our guys have been preparing and been very consistent in how they've came out and came to work, but there's just something different about game week. There's just something knowing that at the end of this week, all the hard work, all the preparation, all the training is going to be able to come to fruition for them. So the energy level was there. It was a lot of fun.
What do you think you're getting in Oregon State? What do you think their strengths are going to be? First game, you can't go to any video of the game played last week. So what do you think you're going to see?
First off, they're a very well-coached team, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Speaking from defensively, I know those guys over there, their staff, and they do a tremendous job as far as their preparation, how they go into each week with the game plan specifically tailored for each defense that they're seeing, but they know their strengths and they play to their strengths. It always starts up front with these guys, and they've got a tremendous O-line, and they do a great job as far as how physical they play. They're always going to have a featured back and probably a guy that's right behind them that's going to be tough. Quarterback does a tremendous job as far as running the offense, and they're going to have playmakers on the outside that we've got to be prepared for. They've got a really good pass-catching tight end that does a tremendous job. So, I mean, across the board, this is a challenge that we knew coming into this thing what it was going to be, but as you study them and you start to watch them, you start to figure out real quick that this is going to be a very good game from the standpoint of just two teams that are going to be well prepared for each other, that are probably tired of preparing for each other and just ready to go out there and put it on display.
What stands out about Nolan on the film?
His ability to make plays when something's not quite there. He's got a tremendous knack for making plays with his feet in the right moments. He's got a really good arm and knows the offense inside and out. And I think they do a great job of playing to his strengths and putting him in position to make plays. And he's one of those guys as a defensive coach that you always lose sleep over because of his ability to make plays with his feet when there's nothing there. No matter what you do as far as schematically, and you can be perfect as far as your assignments, and then he just makes a play somehow, some way to keep the offense or keep the sticks moving on any given series, and that's hard. That's hard.
What did Rodney do to win that job at safety?
So Rodney and Shea coming into it, we knew there was going to be a great competition between the two of them, and both of them came out and did a really good job. At the end of the day, they're both going to play a lot of football for us, and so I feel really good about our field safety position with those two bodies. And no matter who goes out there first or who ends up finishing the game, we know we have two very capable field safeties to play that position.
I don't know if this is a decent comparison or not, but you look back at you guys used to talk about the Legion of Boom a lot when Jerron was around here, and
Yep.
Cam Chancellor was that bigger presence at that boundary spot, and you had the smaller role at that field safety
Yep.
spot. Is there a similarity there at all with what you guys have with J.O. and Rodney now?
Yeah, it's hard to I don't want to put anyone into that category or into the comparison of the Legion of Boom. That was a special group. But if you're just talking measurables and size and just different skill sets that each one of our guys possess, I think we do have a tremendous group in the fact that we've got a lot of versatility. And we've got guys that range from JL's size and length to a guy like Rodney who's got that tremendous quickness and his ability he's got range just because of his speed and his top end speed, his ability to cover, his quick diagnosis of plays. Then you talk about T and sliding him around and his versatility. Shea, when you put him, it's just, we're very fortunate to have the group that we have and the simple fact that we can move guys and pieces around and get the same type of execution that you're looking for, no matter what body is playing what position.
You mentioned Oregon State having some guys that can run the football. Last year you guys started off slow, stopping the run. It got better as the year went on. What kind of changed, and how do you carry over the way you guys finished against the run into this year?
Yeah, I think exactly what you said as far as we study film and go through self-scout, and you spend all the hours that we do as a coaching staff to figure out, okay, what was it from the beginning of the season that we weren't doing? What was at the end of the season that we were doing? And we try and implement that over the course of not only fall ball, but really all the way back to spring. and building off the strengths that we ended the season with and really going through spring ball, finding ways, okay, we can tweak this, we can change this. Here's a little fundamental or detail that we can change that's going to help us in the run game here, and really implement those over the course of the summer. And then fall camp comes around, you get a chance to put those to test, so you can make some changes again in that regard. So you're always trying to find ways to tweak, whether it's a fundamental, maybe it's a simple alignment that we can make, or maybe it's just flat out, hey, it's a mentality. And I think our guys have that mentality going in this game, that we have got to stop the run up front. But it's not just the guys up front that stop the run. It's the entire defense. It's all 11. It's 53 and a third as far as the width of the field. It's our corners being able to set edges, our safeties, so everybody's involved in stopping the run. And so I think we've emphasized a lot over the course of the summer, starting from, to your point, way back at the end of the season, and trying to build and create that momentum going in the fall so we get off to a fast start in that regard.
It looks like you've kind of led some of the team tackling technique drills and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's the case, at least it looks that way. In game one, how difficult is that area to get up to speed quickly because of what you are, how you are so limited, for fall camp these days? Yeah,
no, that's a great question, and that's really is everyone across the country. You watched those first games last week, that's one of the areas that you're watching and looking for. If you're a spectator or a fan or a guy that's watching a game going, all right, who's going to win this? Which team is coming out and being able to tackle and execute the fundamentals that they've been trying to emphasize all the way back, like I said, from the end of spring through the summer and through fall camp. And that's going to determine a lot of the outcomes this first week, is which teams are able to tackle the way that they should and can. And I think what we've done over the course of the summer, what we've done through our drill work through the fall camp, not just how we've done it, but more importantly, how our players have taken to the drill work, have really implemented all the fundamentals and techniques that we're trying to teach them, and trying to stress that in every drill we do. Our biggest thing is we may not get to finish guys throughout the day or through every practice unless it's a live scrimmage, but you can always work your technique from a standpoint of just tracking the football, owning your leverage, my body control when I'm closing in on the football, my ability to, with my eyes, know where my target is. So there's so many things that you can work, so many details that you can work without actually finishing. And now on Saturday, these guys get to unleash that pent-up physicality that they've had, and we actually are going to be able to see these guys finish the way that I know they can. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
College offenses are so different from one team to the next. These guys show that they start two tight ends, and watching them, they did. So with a team that plays a lot of two tight ends, how is that different for a defense to defend?
Yeah, no, it is, and it poses a different challenge because the tight ends that they put out there are so versatile. So you can have a 12 personnel on the field, but they can create 10, 11 personnel sets. They can get to empty backfield, so they do a lot of different things as far as they're truly a multiple offense from a lot of different personnel looks. And so that poses a challenge in a lot of different ways as far as, okay, do we match them and go big as far as our put another linebacker on the field? Do you stay relatively small in comparison so you keep your skill out there? So it always poses a difficulty or a challenge as far as how you're going to approach any given offense that you're facing.
How do you rotate safeties, and when it comes to Shea and Rodney, like how do you kind of see that going as far as plays?
It'll be series by series. Okay. It'll just go kind of how the game's going. Both guys are going to play. And as you progress through the game, it's a matter of, all right, how is this going? What's the flow like? And you just got to have a feel for your personnel and your group. And I want to try and make sure my guys stay fresh as they go through 4 quarters of football, because it's a long season and it's a long game. Yeah. And so it's a marathon, not a sprint, the old saying, but there's a lot of truth to that. And so the fresher we are in the 4th quarter, the better off we're going to be. So again, like we said earlier, man, our versatility and the depth that we tried to create over the course of fall camp has got to show up and help us out as we progress through this game.
Can Shea play nickel in a pinch? I didn't see him on the depth chart there. Where is he if he's on the depth chart at nickel?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, I'm going to emphasize the key word versatility. And Shea is a big example of versatility, where he literally over the course of fall camp took reps at 3 to 4 different positions and has the ability to play all 3 to 4. The problem with that is that old saying of, you're doing something, but you're never really the master of one, right? You're trying to do all things, but you're never the master of one thing. And so just making sure that he is clued into his field safety responsibilities, but has the ability to slide at a lot of different spots based on what's happening over the course of the game.
Talking about Rodney, he's not the biggest guy in stature, but how does he compensate for that on the field?
His mentality. He's one of the fiercest competitors we have on this team. Rod prepares himself as far as his film study, as far as how he works on his techniques, his fundamentals as far as his cover skills are concerned. And he's got tremendous range because of his top end speed. He's one of the faster guys on our team. And so Rodney does a great job of making up for anything from a size standpoint, just based on his mentality, his physicality, and the way he plays the game.
I don't know if it's about your group or this defense or this team, but what most has you excited going into the year?
I think it is definitely just the whole team and how we've come together over the course of spring through the summer and now through fall ball. And you can just feel it. You can feel how they were connected over the course of the summer via the workouts. Our strength coaching staff does a tremendous job of preparing them from a physical standpoint, but all the adversity that they face over the course of the summer, running the decks and some of these other things that we kind of challenge them with, that type of common shared adversity always brings groups together, right? And these guys, man, I'm telling you, this is one of the best connected group of guys that I've been around from a locker room standpoint. And it shows on the practice field. And I think you guys will see it through the 4 quarters of this game, how connected we really are. And that's going to be a fun thing to watch.
You mentioned the strength, thing. What makes Reed Kagi and his staff unique in their approach?
I think they go about it the right way as far as every individual is truly an individual. And it's not just, hey, this is the program we're going to work for everybody. This one program is going to work now. We got to make sure that each group positionally has things that we're going to challenge them with. So our skill group is getting what they need. Our O-line and D-line are getting what they need. And then just like everything within this program, it's about that connection. And our strength group and our strength staff does a tremendous job of just building guys up. And not just from a strength, but more importantly from a mental standpoint and how they connect with them, how they are able to, in turn, because they know and they built relationships, push our guys to limits that our guys would never want to cross if they didn't have that connection.
We talk about safeties built in all shapes and sizes in the room. Alexander Tugler, he's a walk-on here. He's going to kind of play close-ish to home. Do you know if he's excited about that opportunity? And then what does he bring to that room besides being J.O. Senior's backup?
Hey, Tubes is Seaside, Oregon. He reps that hard. So every time he makes a play, our whole group is yelling Seaside. So he's going to be fired up just to be back in the state of Oregon, and I'm sure he's going to have plenty of family and friends rooting him on. He's a guy that has really pushed to be a guy that's on the field and find a role for, not just as a backup to JL, but a guy that we got to find a role for this guy to get him on the field. You're going to see him as far as special teams are concerned. He led us in special teams reps last year on the team. He's going to probably do the same thing this year, but he's going to be the guy that continues to find ways to get himself on the field from a defensive standpoint. He had a really good fall camp, and I'm excited for how he's going to continue to progress and grow into not only a really good player for us in the special teams and as a defensive player, but more importantly, he's going to grow as a leader for our group as the year continues to grow.